What's up, guys? This is Brad. So I want to talk about the Golden Touch King of Collectibles, a new series that just got put out on Netflix. It's actually not totally new. Season one was put out sometime last year, and season two just came out within the last week or so. And so I want to give my review. This is very relevant to just the collecting hobby, whether you're into sports magazines or sports cards or any other collectibles. This is a pretty interesting show, so I'm just going to kind of give my honest take and my feedback after watching season two and actually rewatching season one. I had watched season one last year. I enjoyed it. I never made a video about it. And then this past week, I watched season two, and I went ahead and rewatched season one as well. And you know what? I felt like it was worth a reaction video, worth a review, because honestly, it's a pretty cool show. So first off, if you don't know Ken Golden, he is a pretty big person in the hobby going back to, I'm familiar at least with the 90s. He was big in sports cards, and I think even in the 80s he was doing some stuff, and he's been around. And Goldin Auctions, I think, has been around now for over 10 years as an auction house for sports collectibles. They've really risen in the past few years into one of the biggest, if not the biggest. I would say Heritage Auctions is probably one of their biggest competitors, but Golden has really, really done a good job, honestly, putting their name out there. This show, I think, has helped a lot, and they've done a ton of marketing and advertising, probably more than I see from some of the other auction houses. So they're a big player in the hobby and in the collectible space, and they're branching out into even more items other than just sports stuff. So it's a pretty cool thing. And so the show specifically follows a bunch of storylines with different high-end items, different collections. It also follows storylines with the employees working within Golden. So it's kind of shifting back and forth between these specific employees that we get to know a little bit, and then these different high-end items, and kind of the chase and what the whole saga is like from Golden's perspective as far as consigners and trying to get these collectors and these high-end items to be consigned with them, and what that process looks like. And then once it's consigned, what the process then looks like as far as promoting the item and the sale actually happening. It's really interesting, a pretty cool behind the scenes look at the whole, just like I said, process of the auction house. So there's some characters you really get to know there. I mean, I say characters, I mean these are obviously real people, real employees at Golden Auctions. You've got Dave, Ryan, Carlo. There's some of the top consigners on there. Alex is she is a female who does a lot of their marketing stuff, and honestly, some of those people they give off a really strong Jersey Shore vibe. But I'll be honest, they're likable, and it makes sense. To be fair, Golden Auctions is headquartered in New Jersey, but yeah, kind of funny. They seem like pretty good people. They're really interesting and good personalities on the show. I'll say probably my favorite character on the show is Robbie Davis Sr. You got a pair, a father and a son, who go out together and get these consignments together. Robbie Davis Sr., Robbie Davis Jr. Um, Robbie Davis Sr. is he's funny. He's he's got these little one-liners, and he's got a real outgoing personality. He's older. He's probably in his 60s, I would guess. He's really entertaining, and so these characters are actually, they're very likable. They're fun to follow. You kind of see some of their ups and downs. You get to see some of their, big wins when they get these big consignments, or their items end up with big sales. You see a couple glimpses into some tight situations they get into. Like there's one time where I think it's Ryan promises one of his consigners that he's going to get Victor Wembanyama to make a video for him to promote the card, and then he can't make it happen, so he's got to break it to Ken Golden, who's not very happy about it. He's got to break it to the consigner, who's not very happy about it. And so you kind of see those highs and the lows of those behind the scenes. And it's really interesting and really cool. And then Ken Golden himself obviously is featured a ton. Ken Golden, I'm not sure really what my perception was of him before the show. But I think I've come out after these first two seasons of actually probably liking him. He's nerdy, but aren't we all, who are interested in the collectible space? We've all got kind of got that geek side to us. But he's pretty intense. You see him in a lot of high intensity situations throughout the show, and you can kind of see, how he has built Golden into what it is today. He's very focused and very driven and very motivated to continue to build Golden into something bigger. And so it's kind of cool to see all that happen throughout the show too. Um, One of the really cool parts about the show is just seeing these different items and collectibles that come in and that they're dealing with. I mean, and it's the gamut. You run the gamut. I mean, season one, you're looking at huge Jackie Robinson items. There's a big thing about the triple logo man with the LeBron card that has the logo patches from Cavaliers, Heat, and the Lakers. They got Beanie Babies. They're selling Declaration of Independence copies. They got the handcuffs that were put on Lee Harvey Oswald after he assassinated JFK. There's Pokemon cards, tons of stuff. It's really interesting. They have a bunch of celebrity cameos. So season one, you've got Drake, you have Mike Tyson, Logan Paul, Karl Malone, Peyton Manning's on there, and Peyton Manning's actually an executive producer of the show, which I think is really cool too. And some of the collections are just absolutely insane. It keeps your interest high. It's really fast paced, kind of jumps back and forth between these different collections, the different employees, the different storylines. A lot of it is high stakes. You'll see Ken Goldin or some of the other top consigners really negotiating and trying to work out deals with these collectors who own these really cool pieces. And I mean, we're talking some big deals, multi-million dollar deals. So it's really cool. Um, for me personally, from like a magazine collecting standpoint, there's not much of that in season one or season two. A couple little things I did notice is it looked like behind Ken Golden's desk, you see this multiple times throughout the show. He's got like a program of it looks like Cassius Clay versus Joe Frazier. So that's kind of cool. There's also at one point a Wilt Chamberlain item that includes a program from his 100-point game. And then a really big item, a really big moment that does involve a magazine in season one is Peyton Manning actually pulls out and he shows Ken his own personal subscription copy of his first Sports Illustrated cover. I think that cover was maybe 97, 96 or 97. It's got him at the top playing for the Tennessee Volunteers, and it's got his dad, Archie Manning, on the bottom. It's a well-known cover just in the hobby of sports magazines, and it's actually Peyton Manning's subscription copy. It's got the label on the bottom where it was delivered to Peyton Manning to his dorm or his apartment at the University of Tennessee. So that was really cool. But season two that they just came out with, it has 8 episodes, whereas the first season had 6. So they've increased that. You've got all the same characters and the same cast. And honestly, I enjoyed season two even more than season one. I already liked season one a lot, and season two I thought was even better. There were some absolute monster items. Like I can't understate that enough. There were monster items on season two. There's a big storyline about how Ken Golden is trying to hunt down an Action Number One comics, which is the first appearance of Superman, probably the holy grail in the comics hobby. The team spends 2 days at Comic Con. That's pretty interesting. Ken meets with this guy. I can't remember his name. I think his last name was Kendrick, maybe like one of the owners of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And this dude has like literally the most valuable cards in the world. I mean, we're talking like he's got a high grade Honus Wagner. He's got a Babe Ruth rookie card from 1916 that's a PSA 8. Hank Aaron, PSA 10 rookie. Willie Mays, PSA 10 rookie. He's got the Mickey Mantle Bowman rookie, PSA 10. He has the one, I think there's only one, PSA 10 of the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. I mean, all those cards I just mentioned are like probably $10 million plus cards by themselves. And a few of them could even go for like 50 million, like insane stuff that they're showing and talking about on the show. Really cool to watch. You have more celebrities on season two. Ronald Acuna comes in. Ken Golden apparently is great friends with Barry Bonds. There's a Barry Bonds scene. You got Eli Manning, you got Joe Montana. Just really cool. And once again, high stakes. I mean, Ken Golden is sitting there in some really intense conversations, trying to work some deals, trying to convince these collectors to consign and sell their items. And he's throwing out millions of dollars on the table. It's really interesting. From the magazine perspective, there wasn't hardly anything in season two. I did notice that they had a poster somewhere in that Goldin headquarters, might have even been in Ken's office, that had Joe Namath. It was the Joe Namath Sports Illustrated cover in a big poster form, so that was pretty cool. But overall, I think it's a must-watch show. I don't care if you're into magazines. I don't care if you're into sports cards. I don't care if you're into comics, game-worn jerseys, game-worn shoes, pop culture items. Like I said, they have, I mean, there's stuff from the Titanic. They got like a hand that they think came from Cleopatra, like insane stuff, super interesting, super a good variety. So it's a must watch. The characters are likable. I have a much higher perception of Goldin Auctions now, having watched those first two seasons than I did before. It kind of brings a human side to it, getting to know those people a little bit and seeing what they're doing behind the scenes. So it's a must watch. That's my review. That's my honest review. I enjoyed every episode of both season one and season two. I really, really hope that they will do a season three next year or whenever that might be. I mean, hopefully this will be like an ongoing thing because really entertaining to watch. Also, just a little side note. I mean, Goldin Auctions and Ken Goldin himself do seem to be promoting the graded hobby, or I'm sorry, the graded magazine hobby a little bit more recently. They just recently added they made it its own category on their website, which Heritage Auctions hasn't even done. So you can now search just for graded magazines on there, which is really cool, really handy. Um, Ken even made a personalized promo video for the first ever 9.9 CGC 9.9 of a Sports Illustrated copy. That was the Mbappe that they just sold recently. I think it went for a little over $5,000, maybe. Pretty good sale. So that's really cool. They seem to be all in, getting that hobby a little bit more involved. And yeah, I have to say now, after watching the first two seasons, I'm a fan of Goldin Auctions. I'm a fan of Ken Goldin. Absolute fan of the show. The show's awesome. You need to go watch it. That's my review. So if you've seen it too, let me know what you think. And if you've not yet done so, please subscribe to this channel. Appreciate likes and comments. And until the next video, see you next time.